Urban Outdoor Adventures, teaching anglers and outdoor enthusiasts when, where, and how.
I don't know, Liz. You think we're going to get out of here in 7 days?
You know, Shaun, I've survived in deserts, jungles, even the top of the Arctic. I think this is going to be the toughest challenge yet.
We're just kidding, of course. Welcome to the show. I'm here with the Survivorman himself, Les Stroud. Welcome aboard, mate. We're going to be heading out of Toronto Islands here today, right in the heart of Toronto, for some pike and bass.
I have a feeling that fishing here is a lot better than most people think.
It's way better than a lot of people think, and the fish are clean. Stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss this.
This week on Urban Outdoor Adventures, Shaun and Les head out onto Lake Ontario searching for late summer pike. Ontario Place, Toronto Harbour, and Ashbridges Bay are just a few areas that Shaun and Les will cover. Lake Ontario offers a virtual labyrinth of bays and harbours that are scattered all along the north shore of the lake. Get out your map and you will see that these often untapped fishing holes are relatively easy to find. From Niagara Falls to the west to Kingston in the east, the opportunities are endless. Other productive areas for pike in southern Ontario are the Bay of Quinte in the east and Hamilton Harbour in the west. Public boat ramps can be found in virtually every town and city. Check a local map to locate a launch in your area. Urban fishing is an underutilized resource, one that many city dwellers and suburbanites don't even realize exists. On today's show, Shaun will demonstrate that good numbers of healthy trophy pike are readily available in and around urban settings. Due to Les's busy schedule, this show was shot over 2 half days after his studio work in Toronto was completed. Despite the Survivorman's obvious skepticism, his urban outdoor adventure will be a day to remember. Look for bays that sustain good, healthy weed growth, and you will generally find pike. Why not take the kids? Remember, you don't need a boat to have fun. All of these areas offer good access to shore anglers. This week's target species is northern pike. Other popular sport fish species available: small and largemouth bass, perch, bluegills, carp, catfish, salmon, and trout. For more information on subjects featured in today's show, log on to our website.
I think I got a bait fish.
Hey, they'll count. Oh, look at that.
Look
at that. That's, oh my Lord.
Don't be running that camera now, okay? Don't be running that camera.
That is the smallest pike I have ever caught or seen caught, I think.
Great.
No, but I mean, look at it.
I'm going down in history. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. That is so neat.
This is actually a sample fish. You get the real one in the mail later.
Yeah, that's right. There we go. Look at that.
Well, at least we know I wouldn't have starved today if I had to. If it was a survival situation, I was done for the day.
What do you think that is? About a mouthful? All right, let's get him back.
It's bait.
Yeah. Look at that. Look at this. We've got helicopters landing on the island over here. We've got pike on the end of the line.
It's all happening. It's like the Madonna wedding.
Look at this beast.
Yeah.
These stinger hooks are good, but unfortunately, it always seems to be these little guys that just inhale these things. There we go. I think I got it. Yeah. There we go.
Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah.
Little sunlight on there. Maybe we can do some Photoshop and make this bigger for Les. And if you're out in the wilderness, it'd be a meal.
Oh yeah. No, I wasn't starving today.
So I got to ask you, Les, how did you get into the survival stuff?
Well, I've trained really just about everybody throughout the last 20 years. You know, from school kids on up to police and military. Oh, I spent my childhood just in the outdoors, you know, watching the outdoor shows and spending all the time I could up at the cottage. But around teenage years, I basically discovered rock and roll, became a musician, you know, went out, played the independent band scene, and somewhere in my mid-20s realized I was missing something.
Yeah.
And I knew that it was the outdoors and adventure.
Yeah.
And I got back to it, and I haven't looked back since then.
Boy, did you ever get back into it? I mean, that show of yours, you filmed the whole show yourself, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
with you've got like 4 or 5 cameras with you.
Right, but no other camera crew, just myself on my own, nobody helping me.
And I know for a fact that a lot of people think that's staged, eh? But I know, because I know you and I know the network that you air on, that that everything you do is totally 100% legit. And I tell you, I got to take my hat off to you.
Well, thank you, sir.
I'll tell you, it's not only an amazing show, it's also the fact that when you actually sit down and realize that you're out there by yourself for 7 days, you've got to feed yourself. You've got to, you know, a lot of those shots you were saying earlier, you know, you may have to go and shoot it 3 times. You've got to climb up a cliff to put a camera there just so you can shoot yourself climbing up that cliff. You know, and then you've got to go back down and pick your gear up and bring that up too. So, yeah, that's incredible. My hat's off to you, mate.
Well, thank you. I can tell you that one of the biggest compliments is when people don't believe me.
Yeah.
You're not alone. You couldn't have gotten those shots on your own. You must have had somebody with you.
Yeah.
And that's basically the highest compliment I could get.
Yeah.
It's like, well, sorry, but I was on my own with that.
You
And
do a
it feels
fantastic
good to hear
job,
that.
mate.
Look
Now,
at
if
that.
you can get a big pike on, I'll really have some respect for you. All right, well, we got Les here, our resident survival expert. He's going to show us how to get a fire started in a survival situation.
You know, Shaun, this is basically the classic method of rubbing 2 sticks together. It consists of a few basic parts, all right? We've got cedar bark that I've shredded all up and made soft, kind of like a mouse nest.
Right.
The spindle is made out of basswood. You can find it all around southern Ontario and central Ontario.
Okay.
Baseboard's made of cedar, and they're both semi-soft woods, and that's really important. For me, anyway, I like the semi-soft woods to make a fire bow. I'm gonna put the whole package together. I put my baseboard on top of the tinder. The spindle fits into these notches nice. See the holes I've carved? If you don't do this notch, you probably won't get the fire going. All the hot dust falls down in there, and it collects like a little cigarette ember.
Okay.
And if the notch is too small, it won't fall down in there. If it's too big, spindle falls right through. So that's key.
There's a lot of people get lost in the woods. It's just a fact, right?
Oh,
You know,
hundreds every year. Hey, this takes a little while to get the hang of it.
All right,
you get the feel going, get yourself comfortable, make sure you're not leaning on a rock because you don't want to get halfway and go, I gotta stop, because you're in pain, right?
Exactly.
Catch your breath and get her going. Now, you're gonna have to help me out with this because we're both lost on this island.
That's right, that's right.
All right, here we go. Now, I gotta remember to breathe while I do this. See that smoke?
That's pretty quick.
Okay, but that's my cue to keep going, not to stop.
Right, okay.
It's a cedar baseboard and a basswood spindle, and I'm pressing down with a rock. All right, I got a coal, so I very gently pull away. Little tap to break it. That's a very delicate ember. See that guy?
Yeah.
That's a coal, like a cigarette ember.
Look at that.
This is why they called it praying to the fire gods,
No
right?
kidding.
Okay, so I'm the guy who just got out of breath. I need your lungs.
You need my lungs? No problem. mate.
Okay, keep it tight together. Don't let it get
Tight
loose.
together.
Tight.
Okay.
Okay, and blow. Blow right in there. Make a furnace. There you go. Lift it up high. Hold her tight. Hold her tight together.
Whew, it's getting hot.
It will. Hey!
There you go. All right, look at that. Thanks, Liz.
Fantastic.
That's a great tip, mate.
Hey, not a problem. You know, you would have had a warm night in the bush.
Yeah.
The fire keeps the boogeyman away. It cooks food for you. We're going to be warm tonight.
We certainly are. There we go, Les. Feels all right. I think it might be oh, it's a pike, yeah. I'll tell you what, I'll often, I'm going to have to move the boat here because we've got a bit of water dripping down from the overpass above us there. But I tell you what, we just found a beautiful looking weed bed here. I'm actually going to move off because I don't want to spook the fish that are in here. When you're fishing your water like this, use a search bait. I like to use a spinner bait and cover a lot of water fast. I can vary the retrieve up and down, fish these weed lines here, and as you see, it can pay off for you. All right, let's get this guy unhooked here. Now I have my pliers at the ready. Now I recommend if you're new to pike fishing, definitely use a net. We kind of handle a lot of these fish. Little guys like this, I'll generally grab right behind the head here, like this. And I don't even know if I'm going to need those pliers actually. There we go. He's
Hook nice and
unhooked.
clean.
Yeah, look at that.
That's
beautiful. Right in Ontario Place, downtown Toronto. We're about 5 minutes from the financial district right here.
You go out, cut a couple of deals and then come down and
yeah,
hunt the pike,
we'll go see the broker and come down and get some pike, right? Let me get him back here. There he goes.
You know, a place like this, it's kind of like all of these man-made structures become sort of the urban version of cliffs and rocks and canyons, you know, and dead standing trees.
That's exactly right.
Now, are there any special regulations down here as far as bait? You can come down here with using a live bait or lures, or does it matter?
Yep, same regulations as the rest of Ontario. It's actually tournament regulations, as if you fish tournaments, you have to use artificial baits, which is why we kind of lead towards that way. We do fish a few tournaments from time to time.
Well, sure, and, I guess the more times you get out with artificial baits, the more used to them you get, the more adept you get at placing them in the right position where you want them to drop, and working them, bringing them in.
That's exactly right. If you're going to thinking about fishing tournaments, definitely think about switching from live bait to artificial bait.
Yep.
You got one there?
One on, yep. It's good.
You gotta love those jerk baits, eh?
Oh yeah. Right in the cabbage too. There he is, Look at this. Look at that, whoa, he's a beauty.
Oh, that's a nice fish, Les.
Look at that. He goes for the dive.
Oh, nice,
look at that.
mate. Nice. See, you believe in this fishing downtown Toronto now? We're drifting into these weeds here. I'll see if I can grab them. Actually, don't reel him up too high. Maybe pull him in a bit here. Oh, he's got that bait right down there.
There we go.
Okay.
Look at that. What a beauty. Look at that.
Look at that. Right downtown Toronto, in Ontario Place, of all places.
Never would have thought.
That's a beautiful fish.
That's fantastic.
I'm just gonna actually put him back down because he's got that bait right in there, and I'm gonna get the pliers, Les.
You got it. Now we caught him just cruising right over top of that cabbage.
Yep. There's actually, Les just brought up a good point there. There's a submerged cabbage bed here. We went over. I've had Les using the spinnerbait, but I put on a jerk bait just to get down a little deeper in the slower presentation over the top of those weeds. It really paid off.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Let's see if we can bring him up here, and I'll see if I can get him unhooked for you. You got to be careful that you don't put your hand in the mouth when they got a bait in there like this. This fish is just absolutely, if you look in here, has absolutely inhaled that bait. And he's going to jump here. There we go. Probably got the camera a little wet there, but you know what? It's worth it. Perfect. This is just a little tricky here.
That's a messy one.
There we go. Look at that. Jerk baits for pike in downtown Toronto.
It's absolutely beautiful. We've got got cars going by on their way to work, and we're working.
On the Lakeshore Boulevard here.
Yeah, fabulous.
You know what? First downtown pike for you, right?
Fantastic.
Let's get a picture of this guy.
Perfect.
CPR. Brought to you by Nikon Digital Cameras.
Okay, mate. Smile. Say pike.
Pike.
All right.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Okay. I'm going to just grab him from you. Okay, you can let your hand out. Okay. All right, Les. Let's get him back in.
Yep.
All right.
He's sleek. He's clean. He looks healthy.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
And aggressive.
Very. Oh yeah. It's a great fight.
Perfect. There he goes.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Good stuff, man.
Thank you. Fantastic.
It's time now for the Angler's View, brought to you by Pure Energy Rechargeable Batteries. Les's 10-pound pike hit a jerkbait over a cabbage bed. Let's dissect some of the factors involved here. Water depths around the submerged cabbage bed were 10 to 12 feet, with 2 to 4 feet of water between the tops of the weeds and the surface. This prime structure was located in the center of a marina, covering an area approximately 40 feet long by 30 feet wide. Adjacent to the weed bed were a set of docks accommodating several boats. This offered shade to the inside edge of the fauna. Pike will relate to various areas of a healthy weed bed like this, hiding in pockets and edges. Be sure to cast around and across the structure thoroughly. Shaun and Les observed numerous weeds throughout the marina. However, some were healthier looking than others. By locating fresh weed growth, you will dramatically increase your odds of a hookup. The strike zone in this case was the shaded side of the bed. The aggressive pike hit as the lure passed over a deep pocket on the far side of the structure. Les cast beyond the weed edge and then worked his bait back across the structure using a twitch pause retrieve. This pike hit very aggressively, inhaling the 5-inch silver black jerkbait. This style of bait is ideal when using a twitch pause retrieve. Being a suspending model, the bait will sit in mid-water without sinking when stopped, leaving the bait in the strike zone longer. This, in combination with the built-in rattle chamber, will spark the attention of any hungry pike. Other productive lures today were half-ounce spinnerbaits and white chartreuse. Try adding a plastic trailer and stinger hook for optimum results. For more information on subjects featured on today's show, log on to our website.
When I put this in the water here and pull it through, you'll see that bait swimming up onto its side in one direction. Simple way to fix that. A lot of people will throw their lures in a box once that happens and think that the lure's useless. So I'm going to get my pliers here. This one's running off to the left. So I'm just going to bend this eye a little bit over to the right, and then you'll see now this bait is running perfectly. Little twist with the pliers here will get that bait running true.
Fish on, fish on.
Does he feel like a good one?
He's excitable, that's for sure.
That's a nice fish, Liz. There's so many bays like this along the shore of Lake Ontario, because I'm going to go, actually I'll go off the back here and grab him if that's okay.
Yeah.
And we're just slow rolling spinner baits down the edge of these weed lines here. I'm going to try and grab him behind that. He's not quite ready yet. Liz, I'm soaked. Look at this. If you're not used to handling pike, I would strongly suggest using a net. That is a beautiful looking pike,
yes,
Les.
sir.
Look at that. He's probably good 10, 11 pounds, I would say. People seem to think that on Lake Ontario the fish they're rotten or they're scabby looking nasty things, but you can see these are perfectly healthy fish. Look at the back on that fish.
That's a fantastic specimen.
Good job, man.
Yeah, fantastic.
Let's get her back in the water here.
I still can't believe that I can come down to the city. Even for me, I'm coming down, say, a day of film editing or recording music, and then pop out here, throw a line in the water, and catch a fish like that right in the heart of the city. It's fantastic.
Beautiful. There she goes. Right off the same weed line. I'll tell you what.
Look at the size of that.
I never get over the fact that you can get pike like this down here. Oh.
That is something special.
As soon as you're finished at the edit suite, we'll be out here fishing for pike.
That's right. How do I explain that? Well, I'm going down to the city fishing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's a trophy pike. Look at the size of the mouth on that thing.
That's two within what, 5 minutes of each other?
And both over 10 pounds.
Yeah.
Well over 10 pounds.
That's good fishing.
So, yeah. He's hooked pretty deep. He's going to jump. Look at that. Oh, you got it like
nice.
that.
And to think that I can come right down here, in between editing sessions and recording sessions.
Yeah.
And drop a line in and pull in a beauty like this, that's fantastic. Now, is there a reason why you're not going to use a net with this guy?
Well, I generally do, and as I said, I do strongly suggest using a net if you're not used to handling these fish. I'm used to handling them. I find that if you can get away with it, and as I said, if you're used to handling the fish, it can prevent damage to the fish as far as putting them in the net or in the cradle. I'm just going to get this hook out of here. See here, Les?
It's okay.
The hook's not actually penetrated, but it's actually in his gill raker. So what I'm going to do is go in from underneath like this. That's another reason I didn't want to get that net out. And just try and get this hook out. It's actually in the gill raker. So what I'm going to get you to do, Les, in that hatch there, there's some cutters. Perfect. What I'm actually going to do here, because this hook is actually embedded into this fish's gill raker, is I'm simply going to go in here and snip this hook off. Okay, he's going to lose that hook. The fish will dissolve that. That spinnerbait comes right out and prevents me from damaging these gill rakers. Now that hook's it's pretty well wedged into the gill raker, as I said. If I tried to pull it out, I'd rip the gill rakers and likely kill the fish. And this way, we've saved a beautiful pike, so we can go back and swim another day. Look at that. Look at the size of the yap on that. Look at those teeth.
Amazing.
I want to get your head in there. Yeah. Let's get him back.
When I come down, am I looking at being able to do this just about anywhere along the shoreline?
You can see how close to shore we were when we got these fish. You could cast right off the bank here and catch fish like this quite easily. And if you're looking for pike, check for weed beds and keep moving around and just experiment with different lures.
Fantastic.
Good stuff, man.
Excellent.
Here are some of the baits we've been using today for the pike. Got a 5-inch twitch bait. This is actually a suspending model bait with a rattle inside. All the lures we've been using today have stainless steel fine leaders on them attached right to the split ring. Spinner baits, as you know, have been working phenomenally well. I always rig these up with a stinger hook, with a piece of silicone tube here, and a trailer. I want to take you through some of the tools that we have in the boat. These are long nose pliers, good for getting down the throat of those big pike if you hook them deep. Also, always make sure you have a pair of good cutters with you. If you hook the fish in the gill plate, don't try ripping them out, just simply snip the hook off. And again, of course, your regular pliers, which come in handy, keep them clipped to your belt. Always have your digital camera. If you get a trophy on, you're going to want to get a picture and get that fish back in the water as soon as possible. Keep this somewhere where you can grab it quickly. As far as rods and reels go, I had Les throwing a 6-foot and 7-foot medium action to medium heavy action spinning outfit with a medium-sized spinning reel. As always, I always prefer the bait casting outfits. This one's spooled with 14-pound test monofilament on a 6-foot or 7-foot medium action rod.
Don't forget to log on to our website and post your fishing, camping, and outdoor pictures on the CPR section of our message board. If your picture is chosen as a runner-up, you could receive a brand new digital camera. Post your pictures today. You might just be our next winner.
Fish on.
Right by that dock, eh?
Got him, yep. We got it.
Yeah, let me give you a
nice
hand.
pike.
Let me give you a hand. Well, Les, I think we're running out of time here, mate.
There we go.
Yeah, don't breed him up too much. I'll grab me just a little guy. Nice jump. Look at that. There we go. Look at the size of that guy.
Look at that.
Thanks for coming down, mate. Les has actually been down a couple of times. We've tried to, taken 2 afternoons now to get the show done pretty much. We've tried various different bays along the shoreline here on Lake Ontario. Yeah, he's pretty well hooked, Les. You mind grabbing the pliers for me?
Got it.
Les has actually been a real trooper. You blew your arm out, right? Working on that new show of yours?
Oh, yeah, I'm doing the whole thing on living off the grid, and I ripped all the tendons out of my arm. It's about life off the grid, living with solar panels and rain harvesting systems, and still doing all the rest of the stuff I do.
So you don't always cast like a gill then?
Yeah, no. I cast a little better than what we've been watching today, that's for sure. Pumping out the casting here has been difficult, but it's been fun.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Unfortunately, we're out of time. Thanks for coming on the show, mate.
Thank you, man.
Get out, try these bays all along the north shore of Lake Ontario. I'm Shaun Rickard. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week for yet another urban outdoor adventure.
You cut it in like a voiceover.
Yeah, and what? Before I put my hand, I get burnt.
Yeah, if it's not ants biting you.
Yes, I'm getting my hands burned.